But could you give an example of a challenging time when you felt like you didn't know how you were going to make it, but you did? What was your self-talk like during that time?
Oh man, listen, as an entrepreneur, I think if you haven't like cried like once a month or like felt complete, like you're not doing it right. It's the truth. I've been at points where like I didn't know if we make payroll or pay a supplier, what was going on, lawsuits, FDA, all these things that just break you down. And it's just like it really challenges everything of, am I doing this right? I've been doing this 20 years and I still haven't. It's like, wait, is this really my path and everything? I mean, I know deep down inside it is, but there is no doubt the kind of the self-doubt talk comes in to play. You're not human if it doesn't. But this is where I found over the years, you use the tools, you teach yourself and you pick up along the way and experience to change that around. You use breathing techniques. You use different techniques like Ho'oponopono to clear yourself. You use meditation. You use affirmations. You use visualization. You use medical therapies, neuroemotional technique, EMDR if you have to, anything, tapping, right? You use all of these techniques to quickly turn it around and change that and transform that. And what I've realized, Ben, is I've found calamities where I've started the day being like, my life is over, and end of the day saying that is an amazing opportunity. I feel great about this, and we're going to change. And this is exactly what I needed. I truly believe if you're on course, if you have a good vision and you're really, doing things in the spirit of what you feel internally in your heart is right, at the end of the day, things will solve themselves. They will. And you could try and get so stressed. And what I've learned is, you could either stress yourself out, cry, bitch, complain, moan and everything, or you could try to see the opportunity. Usually the outcome will be the same, right? And so why put yourself through all that is what I start to realize. So if anyone's listening, and you're going through really hard times, number one, there's always perspective. Someone's having it harder out there in the world. That's just the truth. My travels around the world showed me how hard some people, and they're just smiling and happy all the time. And it's like, wow, this, I got to shift my perspective quickly. And number two, start to build an arsenal of tools that work for you, that shift your perspective, because your natural knee-jerk reaction in certain situations, and it may be completely actually, valid that you feel that way. Death in a family, something terrible happened, accident, anything can happen like that. But as long as you have those tools around you, you could shift it quicker away from something that is a true trauma that lasts for a very long time, or something that causes chronic depression and anxiety. And I've been there. I've been, a therapist. I have everything. I try to build my toolkit around that because I have struggled at times. And building out that toolkit for me has made all the difference in the world as to how I respond to any, negative event or even trauma in my life.
Mm. Yeah, it's such a, I think, valuable reminder for anyone listening that when you're going through something like this, it feels like blackout curtains. It feels like that's life. That's like nothing's going to change ever. But it's interesting to hear how even these simple tools, like taking a couple of deep breaths or tapping on different points, can just act as that little lifeline that you can start to climb out enough to gain that perspective, to realize that deep down under the surface of whatever might be going on, it's okay. And you're going to make it through.
And here's the thing, say it to yourself, I will grow through what I'm going through, right? Mm. That idea of this failure, even if you see it that way, may be the best thing for me going forward. I truly believe those that fail more are stronger, more successful, ready, equipped, right? This idea of never failing is crazy to me. You are so ill-equipped if you never fail for life in general, because it's going to be a part of it. And then if you see every failure as a growth opportunity, is it really a failure? That's my whole thing. If this whole thing went bankrupt and everything, I know I would be primed for another, successful company then. I hope it doesn't, but you never know. You don't have control sometimes over everything. And I would see it, yes, horrible, life over for the first week or so, and then move on. What is the lesson in this, and how could I grow from this? And then if I grow and be more successful, was that even a failure? So reposition everything, even as you're going through it. It's so difficult, I understand, but take that time, use the tools, and reposition that.
Yeah, I think also acknowledging that if you're focusing or if you're facing a challenging time, it's because you're in the game.
Yeah.
It's almost like you said, it's because you're doing something right. You're taking steps, and that's something to not neglect, but to actually really celebrate and congratulate yourself for.
Yeah.
That. Yeah.
I think as a business owner, it's like your first lawsuit, your first like bad article or press or something rips you apart. It's like, it's devastating, but just part of the game. Think about the great entrepreneurs out there, how much they get ripped apart and how much, the feds come after this and that. It's part of the game. Realize that you're playing it now. You are in it to win it in a sense, and that's life. And that's just part of the growth process.